What is up, everyone? I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I am officially back from holiday break. I hope everybody had a good Christmas or whatever you celebrate, all the holidays, whatever. Happy holidays. I hope everybody has a good New Year's, but I'm officially back. We're going to try to kick out some videos. There's new animes coming out this season. Got to talk about some podcasts, but we are here to talk about the last two episodes of DanDaDan, and then we're going to do our season wrap up and score this anime. So if you watched DanDaDan and you are caught up, let me know your thoughts, but here are mine. So last two episodes, old friend shows up of Miss ISA. I forgot his name. It takes me so long to remember people's names. But he shows up. Okarun's immediately jealous because Grandma ISA was like, that's her old childhood crush. And it took me so long to put two and two together that's the guy who used to make fun of her for doing the thing. And just so I was like, oh, that's the guy. And he's real weird. You think he was going to be super stoic and super cool. Nope, he's just real weird. You can tell that she doesn't have a thing for him anymore. She's just like, oh, he's just one of those guys, blah, 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 blah. And we learned that he's moving in to stay with them for a while. And Grandma has basically told them, like, hey, he has an evil spirit in his house. And I want you, ISA, to Momo to go exorcise it. And she explains again that she cannot... mediums have ranges where they could use their powers, and his house is outside of her power range, her deities or whatever, her god's power range. So she's going to send Momo and Okarun to go exorcise this ghost that's causing what is his name? Gigi's family harm. So, but until then, he's staying with them. So, Okarun's like, all right, cool, jealous. Next day they go to school. He shows up at school. Of course, he's doing that thing like the new school. Anime loves doing that, like it's a big surprise. But this kid's like moving in, and then he shows up at school. He's like, oh, I'm the new student in class. All the girls instantly love him. Continue on with Okarun being jealous. The thing for this episode was the mannequin at school comes to life, and we think that it has one of Okarun's balls, but it doesn't. The mannequin is in love with another mannequin that got thrown in the dump, and he's fighting hard to get there. You don't find that out to the end of the episode, but it's real cute, real heartwarming. But he gets to the dump, and then they see what he's trying to do, and then they're like, all right, we'll help you. We'll keep the girl mannequin at the house. You'll come visit her every night or every day, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that was the whole thing. But getting back to the arcing plot of Momo's getting ready to go to Gigi's house after he's kind of explained, like, there's some kind of evil force there, and they give her a little bit of a rundown. He doesn't know much, but he's like, hey, well, let's go. So they're getting ready to go, and then Okarun doesn't know that he's going, and he's all sad, and he's like, well, you guys have fun. And then Momo's like, what are you doing? You're going too. And then she was like, I can't do this without you. So I love every heartwarming episode between them. Their romance is just perfect for... This is a shonen... It's so much combined into one show. Shonen, romance, slice of life, comedy, horror. They have the perfect balance for this show. I love everything this show does. So they get on the train, and then they go to Gigi's house. And on the train, Okarun tries to insert himself into the conversation that Gigi and Momo are having. But Gigi likes Okarun. He's like, okay, well, like, I dig it. And they become friends. Because Okarun's like, this is the first friend I've ever had that's been interested in my stuff. I guess he doesn't count Miss ISA like as a that type of friend because it's a love interest. So they get to Gigi's house. Miss Ayase is immediately like, all right, you guys hang out. She wants to get out of the way of Gigi and Okarun so they can become friends. But Okarun wants to hang out with Miss Ayase because he's ready to confess his feelings for her. As she leaves, Gigi's like, hey, do you love Momo? And Okarun's like, no. And he's like, well, I do. And he's like, nope, I love her. and they battle for who loves her the hardest, and it's so cute. And then Okarun ends up being like, I win, because they kissed somewhat, and like that. But Gigi and Okarun go into the house for some reason, because Okarun notices that he has an addition onto his house that's not in his house. So they go in there to break down the wall, and they find this room filled with all these talismans and sealing things. And we cut over to Miss Ayase. She's at the hot springs, and these people are watching her go to the hot springs. And when she gets there, she doesn't know that this is a unisex hot spring. And I want to say these are aliens again, because the weird stuff happens when the aliens show up. So these men jump into the hot spring with her, and they're like, oh, well, they're being all molest, And Miss Ayase is like, okay, but she's dizzy from the hot spring, and she can't use her powers. And then they like jump on her and try to, attack her. We'll say that. And the show goes off. That's the season finale. Okarun and Gigi find the secret room filled with, it was keeping something in there, but clearly it was seeping out. Miss Ayase gets attacked by these files, and that it went off. I can't even say that was a big cliffhanger, because it was just like, I wasn't really worried about Momo because she didn't even try to use her psychic powers. And then I think the room was the biggest cliffhanger, but they didn't try to make that the biggest cliffhanger. So the next season, I think we're actually going to have a bad guy, an evil villain or something, and we're going to have to stop the curse that is put on Gigi's house. Or that could be handled in one episode, and then it wasn't that much of a cliffhanger. So I don't like how it ended, but everything in this show has been perfect. I've loved every part of this show. Is it anime of the year? Does it beat Frieren? Does it beat Kaiju number 8? I think those are the biggest runner-ups for anime of the year. Did Frieren come out this year? But solid score. I would give this anime 9.5 because how it ended and just the weirdness. It's like, especially it started with the weirdness, and getting somebody to watch it, and in the first episode, I've had so many people say I've dropped it in the first 2 episodes because it was so weird. So it's just like hitting you with the weirdness hardcore in the first couple of episodes instead of easing it in. Because getting people into food wars is like, hey. Trust me, just watch it. Just forget about the weirdness. Just watch it. It's a good show. So that's what it's kind of feeling like with DanDaDan. It's like, hey, I get it. Watch it. It's great. Recommend it to all your friends. It's on all platforms: Hulu, Crunchyroll, Netflix, Amazon Prime. 9.5 out of 10. Only reason I can't give it a 10 is because how it ended was just I didn't like the ending. Do a better cliffhanger. And the weirdness. I can't recommend it to everybody because of the weirdness. I'm like, hey, just put the aliens and the weirdness and the Turbo Granny aside and just watch it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Did you like DanDaDan? Is it your anime of the year? If not, what is? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And that's been my seasonal review of DanDaDan.